All right, everybody, hashtag fam on three. 1, 2, 3.
Hashtag fam.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the newest comic duo, Davis, a dabbler in many disciplines with a voice that can soothe and persuade. Mike, a fanatical specialist with a mouth like a bullhorn, fueled by strong opinions and a compulsion to share them. With microphones and comics in hand, they are Jacks of Trades.
Have y'all heard of the Boudin King Cake? Have you heard of the Boudin King Cake?
I've tried it.
How was it?
Weird. It's not okay. Debbie does Dobage.
Oh, yeah.
Makes a Dobage king cake that me and Katie have been eyeballing for weeks on the internet, and we're just waiting for the appropriate moment.
I just want to...
Oh, we're doing the Crew de Vue party.
Crew de Pou. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Drinking Issues. My name's Mike.
And I'm Davis.
As you know, on Drinking Issues, we read a current comic arc and talk about it, bitch about it, praise about it, whatever the issue calls for. So we're currently doing Champions by Marvel, as I'm sure you're all aware, hopefully. If you're not, you got some episodes to catch up on.
We are on the 4th drinking issue today.
Yes.
This is number 4.
Obviously, Champions number 4 is what we're getting into. We're also here with Greg from In-Depth Media. As always, sitting quietly in the corner and drinking our alcohol.
We gave it to him. Don't worry. It's not like It's not like we.
Well, we don't pay him. So
As you use my recorder, Desi's mic, my mic.
yeah, exactly. We freeload off of him, and he has this weird sixth sense of gratification for creating things. So he thinks he's getting a deal here by helping us produce this podcast, when really he's a slave.
We pay him in
to
friendship.
our whims. So we've got Champions number 4 this week. Davis brought the right issue this time.
Yes, I did. It's
So-
number 4. There is so as we described last time on Champions number 3, it looks like it's all of our superhero friends, except with a giant veiny black hand scraping through the cover.
Yeah, kind of gross. Is it just unwashed, or is it that's like an unhealthy skin? I think that's poor blood flow if it's that dark.
It reminds me of Mr. Deeds.
Yeah,
You look at his
that
foot.
frostbite foot.
Yeah, it's just dead.
Gross. So it opens with that explosion. As you remember, on the end of the last issue, a rocket slams into the side of the ship.
With a good fatum.
Yeah, and our cover page is more of that explosion. Nice big splash page.
The next page, we show the same explosion at the top.
Yeah, a lot of this explosion. It's kind of excessive, I think. Do we need that much of this ship on fire? Like,
I mean, I think we do.
We do?
I think we
We
do.
do?
I do. Well, mostly,
we need 2 splash pages and a third of the next page.
Yes, because it shows that it is a time of extreme disruption happening
guess.
for our champions.
Okay. Anyway, a rocket's taken off one of the wings. The wing has one of the engines on it, as per most standard flight vehicles. So, obviously, it's having some trouble. Kamala decides to take the lead, furthering this confusion as to who's going to be the leader of this team, and starts giving out orders. So she gives Viv, Miles, and Amadeus, their jobs are to hold together the fuselage. So Viv is going to use her stone to make some heat welds. Miles is going to use his webbing, and Amadeus is just going to hulk out and basically grab the walls and kind of hold them together. Sam has been charged with flying out, holding onto the wing, and basically acting as the missing engine to kind of help stabilize the ship. And Scott is going to be driving the vessel and trying to steer it safely to the ground.
Right, because he is an excellent leader and wonderful pilot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess so. And Kamala, after yelling, is just going to sit there and relax.
Oh, no, I think she's...
No, she's pretty tense.
I was about to say, you see her, she's
pretty uncomfortable
she's
right now.
stretching some things
Yeah,
around.
she's doing some stuff.
just,
Yeah,
holding things together with stretchiness and rubber activity.
Okay, and here's the thing. After this point, my problems start up. It's going to be a lot of tirading by me in this issue.
Oh, we have not discussed. Again, we worked together, and this came out in the beginning of the month. We have not discussed anything involving this issue yet. in our own free spare time. And I think both you and I are going to have a unique dialogue on this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah. So the vessel is careening towards the ocean. They're out in open water.
Yes,
and
apparently, they're somewhere in the Arabian Sea.
I don't know.
Somewhere Indian Ocean, somewhere outside of the area they were just in previously.
They're out over the water, and this is a great time to mention this week's alcohols.
Yes, very much
so. You want to go first, Dave? Or you want me to go first?
You have a bigger bottle, so you go first.
Okay, yeah. So I got me. What is this bottle size called again?
Beer that is a bomber.
Bomber. Yeah, I don't.
22 ounces.
Yeah, it's a larger bottle. I like the larger bottle. It holds more. It's nice. It gets warm fast. Gotta be careful. But I got Abita SOS, the Save Our Shore. It is a Pilsner. Yeah.
Unfiltered Pilsner.
Yeah, and it was done a couple years ago to some of the portion of the proceeds go to help with coastal restoration and projects like that.
It really kind of kicked off after I remember I went to the first tasting of it back in 2010, 2011. It's good, fancy, tasty.
So I got it because of the aquatic theme. Save Our Shore. The SOS is made up of lots of fishes and crabs and the local wildlife here in Louisiana. But also I got it because this whole series, this is an SOS. Not really enjoying the direction this is going in, and I think somebody needs to help them out. This is a distress call, in my opinion. So once I saw this giant SOS logo on the bottle, I was like, this makes perfect sense for this issue.
I'm about that. I did Parish Brewery, another Louisiana brewery. They're South
Drink
Coast,
local, guys.
Drink local, fuck national. South Coast Session Amber Ale. It's delicious. It has a big fish fin, a tail fin on the back of it all. And, South Coast.
It's tasty.
It's tasty. Again, somewhat nautical themed, not as well thought out, but they were out of Harpoon.
Oh, that would have been a good one, too.
Damn it.
That would have been a really good one, too.
All I wanted was Harpoon, all right? I went to the store. I went to the grocery store to try to find Harpoon. They have a big walk-in cooler that is kept ridiculously cold. I walked in there and just ran around in there for more like just annoyingly shuffled around there for a minute, trying to find Harpoon. No Harpoon.
I was hoping to find a sinking ship or a big green monster or something along those lines to talk about some of the other issues we're going to deal with in this issue.
Louisiana just got Ballast Point.
Ooh, that would have been a good one too.
Right, except it costs $13 a 6-pack.
Not a good one.
I've spent $15 on a bomber of beer. That's fine.
That's aggressive.
But if you're going to roll up into this Louisiana alcohol beer driven environment, your first thing you can't be for being a big brewery is show up with a $13 6-pack.
Aggressive. It's aggressive.
I'll pay less money and get something that's local that I know I'm going to like.
Okay. So back to the issue. Like I said, this is where my problems start. So after Kamala basically gave great orders to everybody, now Scott takes the lead. So they crash into the water, and Scott starts asking about the status of the ship and how long it'll float. So with the webbing and the welds and everything, probably a couple hours. Now, Nova is unable to fly at the moment, and a Hulk jump would sink the ship.
Yes.
So Scott determines that Viv is the only one that can fly at the moment, so she needs to fly up and look for land. Now, Scott says, don't lose us, because you'll never find us again. Problem one. There's a giant pillar of smoke coming out of this vessel in the middle of nowhere.
Problem two.
So how are you going to miss them?
Problem two. She's a super robot. How can she not... Oh, cool. Yeah. Well, hey,
there's no sensors that she can...
Let me track...
The only piece of metal floating on top of the water for miles, maybe.
Yeah, and not Morales. But yeah, let me just track back where I was flying.
Yeah.
Oh, it's totally inconceivable. Yeah. Absolutely inconceivable.
So, to basically show how stupid that comment was,
right.
She floats 10 feet away from the vessel and goes, there's a landmass over there.
Right.
Yeah.
All while...
Again, crazy sensors, because she's a computer robot thing.
She probably could have just stood there and just looked. But anyway. And then, but one of the reasons why she's the only flyer right now is because Nova's helmet...
We're going to get there in a second.
Whoa. Okay.
We're going to get there in a second. Because the other point I want to make, Miles makes a maybe you should take the lead comment to Scott, which, A, is unfair, because... Scott wasn't the one that gave the orders on how to land the ship safely. That wasn't acknowledged at all. And B, Kamala acknowledges it and regrettably entertains the idea for a second, totally bulldozing over the fact that she just got the vessel safely to the ground when they should be dead on impact. Crazy crash, ship's on fire. Yeah, no. Thanks, Kamala, but no, you're a terrible leader.
Right.
So, like you said, Nova is out of commission. Why is Nova out of commission, Davis?
His helmet done broke.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that a technologically superior space helmet for a spec ops space cop can't handle the impact with water that didn't damage 2 unarmored teenagers?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially, and the science technology to where this thing is genetically coded to his genetic codes where only he can use this helmet. So that technology exists, but getting bumped around inside of we assume, some form of metallic alloy-based ship interior is going to crack it.
Yeah, this superior space helmet is going to crack on impact, but he doesn't even have a minor head trauma?
Nope, not at all.
He's not dizzy. He is not concussed, nothing. And then on top of that, Viv is going to try and fix it. A helmet from a now extinct alien race that is linked to the most powerful and advanced supercomputer ever created in the history of the universe is going to be fixed by a robot of Earth origin, a technological backwater by the standards of all spacefaring species.
Yeah, Earth means dirt, we know.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Viv's just going to touch it and fix it and it'll be fine.
Right, well, because she understands languages, all languages and whatnot, and she has Wi-Fi, so of course she can fix anything.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple pages.
Just like the rapper dude, that's ludicrous.
That was terrible.
I know.
It was really bad.
That's why I did it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
You just want to highlight how terrible these last couple pages have been?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Can we talk about the jaunty Hulk vest?
Oh, yeah. This I actually kind of enjoyed.
Okay. So as Viv flies, 10 feet away from this kind of sinking vessel or apparatus. It's not even a vessel. It's trash at this time because it's not operational.
It's a bunch of garbage floating in the sea.
Spider-Man Miles Morales goes and webs a jaunty little vest to put on Hulk.
I kind of want him to have a vest like Majin Buu style.
Ooh, yeah, where it's like it's a black vest with yellow piping and it's never closed.
Yeah, because so when the
always...
wind blows, his nipple can peek out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Really weird and uncomfortable, but kind of cool. Kind of Aladdin-y almost.
Yeah, I can dig that. Yeah, I can dig that. But he has this vest on him so that he can just swim forward on this floating piece of trash.
Yeah, while dragging it. Because the vest is attached to the vessel via webbing.
Oh, no, it's not attached to the vessel.
Mind you, earlier, Miles makes a comment as they're crashing. How much webbing do you think I have?
Yeah.
And then he suddenly wastes a bunch of webbing to fashion a vest for Hulk so he can drag the ship behind him.
Right, because he doesn't have natural spinnerets.
Yeah. And then I do miss that. I that might have been just a movie thing, but if you're going to have all these other spider powers, I don't understand why you couldn't genetically evolve. You genetically evolved sticky fingers with the little hair cells.
But then that's movie.
I know, but as I'm saying, they all stick to he can stick to the wall without his special gloves.
Yeah, well, that's because the spider power to climb the walls is not tiny little flagellans sticking off your fingers, little barbs. It's like some weird static electricity shenanigans.
That's weird.
That's why whenever he's around Electro or the Shocker, he can't do like wall sticky stuff because like static electricity is messing with him.
There's too many iterations of Spider-Man because the comic ones don't agree with each other, and neither do the movie ones. So you start remembering a certain power, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's not this version."
Well, that's why you got to watch the Venture Brothers. They have the Brown Widow, and he has a giant like spider web shooty thing above his butthole on his back, and
where it should be,
right? But every time he gets hit by a Coke can by someone, it looks like he crapped his pants because he just shoots webbing out of it underneath his clothes.
Oh, that's awful.
And it's just
that's terrible.
Good show.
Yeah.
But so Hulk is swimming forward on this hunk of I don't want to call it a ship anymore. I don't want to call it a ship. I don't want to call it a vessel. It's a piece of garbage.
It's a hunk of metal. It's
a big hunk of floating metal. So Cho Hulk is swimming forward while they've put our good friend Mr. Cyclopean in the back. Just hey dude, take your sunglasses off. Just look at stuff, man. Just make us go forward.
Yeah, he's shooting his laser beam into the water. Question. I didn't do well in science.
Neither did I.
But my understanding of physics is one of those Newtonian laws, equal and opposite forces. So if his beam is powerful enough to hit the water and push the ship forward, how is a 100-pound teenager just standing there casually? He's not being pushed back at all. There's no bracing. There's nothing. He's just kneeling down, casually shooting into the water with enough force to propel the vessel forward, but he's fine.
Right. As well as, again, I did not do well in science or math in high school.
Me too.
But like,
very artsy. More of the arts.
I
did good in English.
I was more of a hangout and pretty good at cheerleading type of thing. But anyway,
rah rah sis boom ba.
Exactly. We'll discuss my cheerleading career later. But okay, so in order for you to pull something going forward, you need to have some form of like, I don't want to say churning or propulsion from a propeller to move a boat forward regularly, right?
In theory, yeah.
In theory, yeah. So if you're just looking at water and it's just going...
just to say that, they have those jet skis that just shoot out a jet of water.
Right, but that is still an intake system, intaking that water, and then shooting that water, which is already underwater, to propel yourself forward. Where this is just like and plus, what if he really needs to quick boil some water, he just looks at it and it goes flying out the thing. Come on, like what's the science happening with this?
Yeah, I have some problems, and that's not even my big problem at this moment. My big problem is Kamala and Scott have a little heart-to-heart here. Scott asks what's bothering her. Clearly, it's the leadership dispute. That just makes blatant sense in the narrative.
Right.
But that's not what the author goes with. No, the author goes straight into this. She has a problem about how Inhumans aren't supposed to like mutants, blah, blah, blah. They're not supposed to get along. And that's my problem. Is it's not a cop-out. The writer actually paints the picture as this is the real answer. When clearly this is a secondary problem at best. And Scott goes, well, here's the thing. It's a big deal in some other ones.
Well, it's the big deal in the overarching thing.
Yeah, but why at this moment? Why was that not her qualm about adding him into the team 2 issues ago?
True. I mean,
when there still was Inhuman and mutant tension,
This is the first time they've brought it up as far as like, I'm an Inhuman, you're a mutant, we don't get along, but we have to today.
I want you to sing everything.
Okay.
Everything.
I'll try.
That wasn't singing.
I'll try, Mike, and it's okay. I'll try to do it more often for you.
Sounds like an Aziz Ansari bit.
By the way, I found his book, Modern Romance, $3 hard copy at the library the other day.
It's very good.
Picked up some Cake albums, too. It was good stuff.
Yeah. So Scott, doesn't really think about this at all. He just looks at her and goes, I don't see a problem. I like you. Do you like me? She says, yeah. He goes, okay, so what's the problem? Now, word choice. Possible future romance to help heal those IVX wounds that are going on right now?
Possible.
Because, I mean, they're teenagers. They're, working together in stressful situations that do help build relationships.
And also, finally, Scott Summers getting a relationship with someone that can't read his mind.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be very nice.
Sake.
Hopefully he won't kiss her on her grave. It's impressive.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Yeah. And then we go over to Sam and Viv having a little emotional conversation as well, where Sam's kind of bugging her about this helmet. She's like, look, I'm working on the helmet. And he's like, how are you so calm in this moment? To where she gets real quick.
Yeah.
And it's aggressive.
Now, we had a buddy of ours reading the current, the Vision line that just went through.
By Tom King, 2016 Vision. Oh, it's The Vision.
The Vision.
Yeah, by Tom King in 2016.
Where Vision builds...
Just a 12-issue run.
It was just 12 issues?
Yeah, just a 12-issue run.
Yeah, where Vision builds a family for himself. Because
it was very like dark Norman Rockwell almost.
Ooh.
Like I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it.
I was going to say it was like someone took all of Norman Rockwell's Saturday Evening Post pictures, but then they said, all right, Tim Burton, go for it.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Actually, not
Just
Tim
a
Burton's
very-
not even dark enough
No,
for this one.
It's just a really dark depiction of the modern American suburban family.
Ooh, it's like having Werner Herzog narrating what's going on behind the scene on the Saturday Evening Post. Like, as the doctor talks to his little girl, he tells her that she has ovarian cancer and will not be able to see adulthood.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's basically how depressing this thing got at times.
Apparently, it's great though. Everybody's singing praises. So check it out.
But it's on my to read list.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she gets really, really dark for a minute. Spoiler alert, I guess, because I told you to read this.
Can I do robot voice?
Yeah, sure, Davis. Go ahead.
All right, this is probably not how Viv sounds, but I'm doing robot voice for this one. I used to be more emotional like you. Then, within a very short period of time, my brother was killed and my mother committed suicide. After that, I decided emotions were not something in which I care to indulge.
To which, calm down. Like, you can't just be like, hey, some shit happened. Like, you just burden the crap out of Sam real quick.
Excuse me, dude. No, our entire emo generation was built upon
Just
this.
whining
Oh, no,
about your personal problems?
Not even whining. More of like a, you want to know what's going down? Okay. Blah, 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 blah,
Here's
blah, blah,
every
blah.
horrific
Let
detail
me
of my
listen to
life.
My Chemical Romance in peace, okay?
That's fair.
Also, a lot of multiple My Chemical Romance albums at the old library yesterday for sale.
I can see that.
Good times.
Yeah, so I will say that I have some issues with this, but I do really like these heart-to-hearts. You know, it helps ground the characters in some emotional growth, and it's not just that typical team, oh, here's the bad guy, let's punch it. That didn't work. Let's try punching it a different way. That worked. We saved the day. Yeah, like there's actually some kind of growth going on, which was nice.
Right, and
it was an attempt at growth.
And plus,
I don't
we're dealing
agree
with,
with all of it.
We're
but
dealing with teenagers at this time. We are dealing with people
over
who are,
emotional.
Just waves of hormones flushing throughout their entire body. Oh, yeah.
So we come to find out what took them down. An Atlantean craft emerges from the water, and they basically tell him, look, you flew your American spy plane over sovereign Atlantean territory, so we shot you down. And everybody's like, we didn't have a spy plane. And Hulk's like, I kind of retrofitted one.
It's like it's military surplus, guys.
Yeah, so now that they survived, the Atlanteans are going to take them into custody. And Hulk's like, no. As the leader of this team, I got a plan.
And then after that is done, they have a all black.
Yeah,
like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I wasn't even say that. I would say like SpongeBob. 20 minutes later.
Yeah, but they don't have the all black. It's like
Yeah.
we go for it. I'm the leader, and I'm the one that has a plan. The Hulk does not have a plan. Do 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 do. Yeah, like it's, and also the 20 minutes later aboard the Atlantean ship.
Yeah, they're all imprisoned in these air tubes because Atlanteans breathe water, and the inside of their ship is full of water.
Right.
Yeah.
That science I can agree with.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, they're all captured in these tubes, and they start entertaining the idea of escaping. And one of the Atlanteans is like, "Hey, look, if one of you manages to get out, because we have somebody that can shoot lasers from his eyes, we have a woman who can, transmute through matter. We have a super strong guy. Most of you can escape, but if one of you does, we'll just fill the rest of the pods with water, and you're responsible for their deaths. So, shut up and hang out and wait for your court trial."
Catch 22.
Yeah. So of course, 30 seconds later, there's a breakout.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Viv overhears that there's a particular lever that will vent the water in the ship.
Because they've realized that they are not actually in the water right now.
Yeah, they're still on the surface.
Right, because apparently they have to. She can hear Atlantean.
Yeah, she can translate.
So they're like, oh yeah, no, we have to take this water out and replace it with a fresh batch of salty seawater inside of our vessel.
Yeah. So she transmutes out of her little tube and starts going to get to that lever. And then Nova also sees that she might need some help, so he breaks out of his tube. Now the Atlanteans immediately engage, and contrary to their previous threat, don't flood any of the remaining tubes.
Right.
All of them engage in combat. Nobody pushes the fill tubes with water button.
Right, and eventually, because Viv has to remain tangible in order to pull the lever, Cyclops and everyone else is like, oh, wait, no, blast everything open right now, so that'll help us all get out. We can all start fighting.
Yeah. One thing I did like is Kamala, they have enough time to start formulating a plan of what's going to go down. And Kamala's, trying to figure out what's going on. Kamala looks at Scott and she's like, hey, you got a plan, Slim? And Scott goes, yeah, listen to our leader. So good. That discussion's over. We got the leader. We know what's going down. Kamala is going to be the one. Scott has his leadership role, but,
I think he's going to make a good number 2.
He'd be a great lieutenant.
Great lieutenant.
So yes, like you said, Scott blasts out the tubes, opens everybody up, and this huge fight ensues. Now, like we said, they're underwater. So what happens when air breathers are underwater for an extended period of time, Davis?
I do believe it's called dihydrogen oxide poisoning.
I don't know if it's poison or if it's just a lack of oxygen.
Well, no. It's you get too much water in your system, you get poisoned by it.
Well, yeah, no, that's only if they open their mouths.
Right.
Right now they're running out of air. Right.
Right. But if all that air in your body gets replaced with water, then you
they
get
have it
poisoned.
filled with water, Davis.
They're in water.
Yes, but they're holding their breath.
Yes. You can be around hemlock and hold your breath, but once that hemlock gets in your system, you're dead.
Well, yeah, that's what they're trying to prevent is breathing in the water.
Yeah, exactly. So they're trying to prevent dihydrogen oxide poisoning.
I think you're going to die of the lack of oxygen before you're going to die of the extra water.
I don't know if it technically falls under poison.
I think Davis just likes arguing with me.
I do, because Mike wins 9 times out of 10, but every once in a while I say a little nugget of goodness.
You really fucked me up on that BC AD the other day.
Yeah, it's Anno Domini.
Yeah. I was dead set on antediluvian.
No, it's Anno Domini.
Yeah.
Oh, no. When you get yelled at about as much random crap as I got yelled at as a kid, like Davis, you set the table every night. The dinner fork is the only one we are using tonight. Why did you put salad forks out for your sister?
There is no salad fork on Wednesday, Davis.
Exactly. There's no salad. Oh, plus we ate our salad last.
Okay.
Yeah.
To punish you? Like, shouldn't you eat your vegetables first? Because a salad is a promise that food will soon come.
Right. Or
but no, that's your sad dessert.
We're not a dessert going family. Number one, and number two, no. You have it last because it helps act as a digestive. And also, why are you going to have the one thing that can remain cold the entire time first, when you can wait till the end of the meal and have that cold thing?
Because nobody likes it, so get it over with.
You've never had some good salads.
I've had allegedly good salads. You know what's better than a good salad?
A bad steak?
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, everybody is seen drowning. And here's my problem, including Nova. The kid who can fly in space.
Yeah.
His helmet provides oxygen in the vacuum of space. It protects him from the radiation of unshielded star beams. But he can't. He's drowning in water.
His damaged helmet.
Again, I don't agree with the damage.
It might be a really shitty Deus Ex Machina, but it is still, he's dealing with a damaged helmet.
But here's my problem. So his helmet is damaged enough to not provide oxygen for him, but not too damaged that he can't use every single other power he has to escape the tube and fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, again, Deus Ex Machina.
Also, why didn't, if you go broken helmet here, I guess that's why he didn't also translate the Atlantean?
Assume, yeah.
Okay, whatever. So yeah, they're fighting, and then they manage to pull the lever, vent the water. We see the Atlanteans scrambling for their little breathing masks and to put their faces in the water because, again, they breathe water, and now they're the ones who are effectively drowning. We also see him speaking in Atlantean, but nobody translates it. It's just drawn Atlantean. It's written, on the page. The penciled Atlantean.
It actually looks like they're repeating the same phrase over and over again, too.
Yeah, the letterer penciled the Atlantean. Untranslated, which we're going to get to in a minute. Hulk punches through the hull, and the flyers grab all the non-flyers after Hulk is unhulked.
Holy shit, it's the same phrase.
Yeah.
They use the same text do they use it every single time?
So either that means something or they're lazy. I'm not sure. The writers, are lazy. I'm not sure yet.
Little column A, little column B.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they all grab the flyers, grab the non-flyers, and head out. And Scott comments, well, That was an adventure, but not so much a mission. I think it's a little commentary on the book as a whole, like the future of the book. Mm-hmm. With this one, it looks like Marvel's trying to go back to some of those old school comic ideas, like less about the 5 and 6 issue arc and more about
the individual issue by issue,
or like the old school comics. Gold, silver, bronze, all those. There was a lot of one shots that came through, just like, and that was the overarching story was there. Yeah. But the individual issue had a start, a climax, and a conclusion.
Every issue is a story.
Yeah. So it looks like they're kind of dealing with that, but B, it also just kind of a commentary of, hey, not every single one of our adventures is going to be groundbreaking and amazing, and
fighting race relations and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And then Kamala remarks, anyone can be a champion, so while we're in this little snafu, there's probably somebody out there right now taking that message to heart. Who's taking that message to heart, Davis?
Motherfucking Gwenpool. And I'd say one thing on this one. So looking at this final thing, so in cheerleading,
okay,
they have what they call the cheerleader pose.
Okay,
it's where when you take any form of formal picture,
uh-huh,
if you're standing in front of someone,
uh-huh,
well, let's say the camera is facing to you. You turn your side to the camera, mm-hmm, hands on the hips, and then
knuckles on the hips. It looks like you're demonstrating.
Yeah, knuckles on the hips.
Okay,
yeah, and then you turn and face the camera at 90 degrees so that you kind of contort your stomach to make it look as thin as possible.
Okay.
Because you're kind of turning at an angle.
Yes.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
This Gwen looks like she has a size -3 waist in this thing.
Yeah.
Like it is
also
even with the cape hiding part of her stomach, she has like a size -3 waist.
Also, for a book that's been, geared towards the youth of I guess the Marvel readership, and has been entirely about the youth. I don't know Gwenpool's age, but there's a pretty substantial butt cheek shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of butt cheeks in there. A lot of butt
they
cheeks.
have not. Thankfully, they have not done with any other character.
No.
Which is nice.
We do see a lot of shirtless Cho though.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, if you don't know who Gwenpool is, I'm not outrageously familiar. But what I do know is that she is a version of Gwen Stacy from a different universe who found her way into this one somehow. Probably one of those weird crossover events.
It was probably during the whole Battle World, everything became one shenanigans.
And then she kind of, Deadpool style, figures out she's in a comic book. She can, break the fourth wall. So her powers come from her understanding she's not living in reality and can kind of break the rules of time, space, and physics.
Well, dude,
So she adopts a white and pink legless Deadpool costume and
now
does all kinds of weird shenanigans and hijinks. It's not for me. Some people like it because the series has been going on for a while and she's been featured for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But yeah, so apparently Gwenpool's going to try and be a champion now.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what that's going to entail.
I mean,
kind of wary about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of those Gwenpool, Spider-Gwen, Squirrel Girl kind of.
Whoa, you shut your filthy mouth about Squirrel Girl, all right?
You can enjoy Squirrel Girl all you want. I don't appreciate it.
You don't have
like
to. Fine. You don't like strong female superheroes. That's fine.
I do. I like plenty of strong female. I like Mockingbird. I like Black Widow. I like She-Hulk. I don't like Squirrel Girl. Just saying. Of all,
she beat Dr. Doom. You know that, right?
Let's just remove She-Hulk. Rank the animals in ferocity. Mockingbird, Squirrel Girl, Black Widow.
Number 1, ferocity. Dude, Squirrel could totally kick the shit out of a Mockingbird.
Yeah. But who's going to keep you awake in the morning more? Mockingbird or Squirrel? Mockingbirds are loud as shit. They mock. That's what they do.
Yeah. But you can't kill one.
You can, but then it becomes a race issue.
And there's chifferobes involved.
Yeah. That was a really deep reference.
Yeah, that's we get
That was odd.
Sounds like someone's being a little Harper-y.
Okay, so anyway, That's the close of the issue.
Yeah.
Some talking points.
All right, listen, Mike. It's
Hold on. Well, before we get into some frustrations, let me start. I've divided my talking points in my notes between the point and missing the point.
okay.
So let's start with the point.
I have no notes as always, so
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go off of yours.
You got a free form. You build off of me. It works.
Yeah, just like that new channel, Freeform, baby.
So point number one, it ended this 4-issue long "Who's the leader" conversation. After Hulk's stupid, punch the Atlanteans, go for champions moment, they all ruled him out.
Which also, sorry, real quick, go for champions. That's a horrible catchphrase.
Is it, what is that? What is the origin? What is that? The go for whoever.
It just reminds me of How I Met Your Mother. Go for Barney when he answers the phone.
Yeah.
Now at least it could be like champions convene.
See, it reminded me of that episode of Robot Chicken where they're doing the Star Wars parodies, and Emperor Palpatine picks up the phone and says, "Go for Papa Palpatine." So I don't know what the origin of this "go for" is. Terrible, moniker. But yeah, so Hulk's been ruled out, and Scott, the only real challenge to Kamala's leadership, has conceded the race.
Right.
So Kamala's our leader. That conversation is over. Hopefully,
He's got more things
until Moon Girl shows up, and they're all like, "Oh, you're smarter than everybody." So I don't know.
And you have a fucking dinosaur.
I'm just have the team. I don't need the leader conversation. I'm tired of that point. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we have a set
Right.
leader. We know what's going to happen.
We kind of knew it was going to be Kamala the whole time.
Yeah, but you really-
But
really-
I'm glad the team decided on that instead of just oh nope, we drew it this way, so that's what's happening.
Yeah. Point I liked number 2. Put the team in danger. Instead of just the team's going to be fine, it's the civilians in danger. Because in the Middle East, most of those guys are not getting hurt by bullets. And even if they're getting shot at, they probably have the abilities to get out of the way relatively well and protect themselves.
Right.
This one was actually the first time the team itself was in danger, and they weren't just helping civilians.
Right.
So I enjoyed that point because up until here, they've kind of had this air of invulnerability, not intentionally. You don't think they're invulnerable.
Well,
but
they're superheroes.
they've never been in a situation where they were the threatened ones. They were just
Right.
helping the threatened ones.
Well, they haven't had any form of super
villain. Yeah, and super anything.
It's gonna be. They had the clown guy in the beginning, but he was
a
using
human
guns.
with some technology and some weird fetishes.
Right, and then number 2, we know it was
They went
it was
camping.
it was the most horrible thing that happened is someone might have burnt the marshmallow, and then
No,
the third
no,
one,
it was a robot kissed a green guy. That was the weird one.
not the point. And then the last one they were a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, terrorists.
And
in
then-
which
and then-
which they exactly there's nothing like
There's no real threat to them
It's
at
like
any point.
oh bullets. Oh yeah, no, they deal with that on the reg,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's
Hey,
not a big
wait, this guy has a gamma gun that turns everyone's legs into uncontrollable Hulk arms. Cool, but that's something that's different.
That's
whereas
threatening.
now they're finally getting Atlanteans, which are they're
A super race.
superior to the average human being,
Yes.
technology as well as everything else, and they're finally getting oh, okay, well, yeah, no, we can all drown except for me. I'll just watch all my friends die like my family.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what Viv would have been. Viv would have been like, oh wait, everyone's dead. All right, next team, let's do this. Fly off.
Oh, that's hard to come back from. Speaking of everyone dead, this was also the first non-victory issue. Issue 1, they technically won. They defeated the bad guy. They got the message across. Issue 2, they bonded as a team. They won. Issue 3, they helped the Middle Eastern people.
Oppressed women.
Further their personal goals and prevent the ignorance from spreading. They
Right.
won. This is the first time where they didn't lose, but they didn't win. There's nothing to win. Winning was living. And that was all they basically did was they made it out alive.
Right.
So I like that point where they finally not lost, but at least didn't win.
Would you consider this a, for lack of a better term, humanizing moment?
No, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Missed points.
Ha.
They got themselves into this trouble.
All right.
So Cho retrofitted a U.S. spy plane without being able to, I don't know, change it enough to where it's not recognizable to any foreign enemy.
Yeah, I mean, if he still has like the call numbers on the side of it, then that's just his fault.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like this whole thing started basically because it'd be the same thing as an American spy plane flying over a sovereign ally and them saying, "Hey, you're our allies, but if you fly over us, we're shooting you with a rocket." Because probably there's an agreement somewhere with the Atlanteans, because they are a sovereign nation, that you're not supposed to do this.
Right.
So A, they don't know where sovereign foreign territory is that they can't fly over, which I imagine the average Avenger does know, because they've never been shot down over an international incident like this as far as I can remember.
But we are still dealing with kids.
Exactly.
Like they don't have the it's the same thing that I've come to agree with politics. The thing is everybody wants a squeaky clean leader to do something, but they also want someone who has experience. And the only way for you to get experience is by being involved in a system long enough to gain experience in which you're probably not a squeaky clean person.
My problem with that explanation, and I thought about that, because so they made a bad series of decisions, or at least an undereducated series of decisions, that put them in this position. They then punched their way out of the problem, Avengers style, leaving a group of people who was only defending themselves in dire straits by nearly suffocating them in a damaged vessel.
Yep.
And then flying away like nothing ever happened without trying to resolve the issue further.
Because they're
in
kids.
Full Avengers style, the thing they're championing against.
Exactly.
So, if this is a grounding moment, fine. But there's not one piece of dialogue that denotes that.
That's it.
Or monologue. There's no actual writing that denotes this is a grounding moment from while they're flying away. There's no learning moment. Scott just goes, "Well, that was a thing we did." But no, that's not even. That's a quote by Sam. Sam literally says, "Well, that was a thing we did."
Right.
Nobody at any point while they're flying away mentions, "Well, that could have been handled better. We need to learn from this moment. We need to do something." Maybe in an issue or two, they will do that.
Right.
But at
like
the
this
moment,
could always come back and bite them in the ass, which it probably will, because they are trying to do and change these lessons, which they have done the exact same thing all the Avengers did previously.
But that's my whole thing, is the whole point of this series is to rate the issues as they come out and not as a whole after the fact.
Right.
So if in 2 issues, this does come back to bite them in the ass and they learn their lesson, great, good. But as of right now,
you're not going to retroactively change things because that's not exactly.
Yeah.
And I agree.
At this moment, they didn't learn shit. They did the same thing the people they're trying to not be like did, and they didn't even remotely acknowledge the fact that they did wrong.
Right. Well, that's
and they should learn from this moment.
But if you look at it from the mindset of them, the past 2 quote unquote, let's just say
missions.
I was going to say violent excursions.
Okay, that works.
The last 2 violent excursions, it was like, okay, well, these are a bunch of teenage girls that are being sold into sex slavery.
Yeah.
Okay, that sucks. Save them. Screw the bad guys.
Makes sense, yeah.
Oh, wait, these are a bunch of women that are being, oppressed over here in the Middle East. Well, screw those guys. Let's help them out through American interventionism, and then et cetera, like that. This is the instance in which, who knows, they might have been justifying this differently. It's like, well, yeah, we could have changed that, but they attacked us first. Because we're still dealing with children.
Yeah, but like I said,
the smartest person in the world, but he's still a child.
In an issue or 2, if they come back to this, maybe I'll change my opinion on this issue.
No, I don't think you should.
But at the moment, they didn't learn anything. They just stumbled their way through a situation, didn't help themselves, didn't help anybody else, only caused problems in the fashion of the heroes they are trying to distance themselves from.
Which might be one of the reasons why Gwenpool might get involved with them. Because he's like, hey, y'all are just as equally flawed and weird as me.
Okay, I can see that.
Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. We still got like 2 more issues.
B, didn't further the story. Now here's my thing. I personally prefer the story arc format. I like the overarching growth of the character, but I also do like a couple of issues with cliffhangers at the end that have a beginning, development, climax, conclusion. I like that format, personally. And this didn't really do anything with that. It was just kind of a knockoff. It was almost, and because they didn't learn anything at the end of it. If maybe they had learned something, fine. Because I'm okay with the one shot when it does something.
Right.
Like either A, they learned something. So if maybe they had done that little, we made some terrible mistakes there. We got to make sure we don't do that in the future. Okay, fine. It promotes the growth of the characters. Or B, I don't know, make it fun. Because at no point in this issue did I feel like I was having fun reading it.
Oh, no.
So,
it didn't drag through. Like, it wasn't like every single page that I'm turning there. But if we look at every odd issue is a very plot progressing issue. Yeah. Whereas every even issue so far has just dealt with team dynamics.
But the thing about issue 2, though, that I liked so much is it did advance the characters. The only thing this advanced was we no longer have the leader problem, which shouldn't have gone on for 4 issues in the first place.
But again, we're dealing with teenagers. We're dealing with people with unchecked egos. I mean, the 7th smartest person in the world who has super strength, a robot who, well, as far as leader-wise, let's forget Viv for 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. A guy who has been time displaced, who has shown through his own self at that time, being the somewhat leader of the X-Men at that term, and then beyond then to be a person that is a capable leader, and then, Kamala Khan, the one who started everything, got everything going, as well as, this might offend some people, but pandering to the idea of, yes, we can have a strong Muslim female lead as a character, have her lead her own team without falling into stereotypes.
I think it's a fair assessment, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Thank you. Especially now we're dealing with her furthered character, Carol Danvers, being the strong female lead who cannot come off as bitchy, because that's a trigger word for some people. It's like, well, if she's a female leader, she just comes off as bitchy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with all of this, dealing with this issue and dealing with everything like that, yes, all the even-numbered issues so far have been about the team growing and changing and all this, and then all the odd ones have been action happening, progressing this plot of what the champions are actually doing.
Well, like I said, though, I don't believe, in my opinion, this issue furthered anything. Personality-wise.
All right.
Character, anything. It didn't further the plot, didn't further the characters, nothing. At least issue 2, there was marked growth.
All right.
Easily
and making
growth.
out.
Yeah. This one, it was, and on top of it, it wasn't fun. Like, I'm reading the issue, and it went by quickly because I was waiting for something enjoyable to happen.
Right.
And it just didn't. And by the time I finished it, I was like, really? That was it? Like speaking of fun one-shots, the Spider-Man Deadpool Christmas special I told you about.
Yes.
It didn't do a damn thing for the story.
No, but it was fun.
The overarching story, it was nothing. It was Spider-Man and Deadpool have to fight Saturn, who is mad that people have fucked up his holiday of Saturnalia by making it too family-friendly, and it's not about fucking and partying anymore. So Spider-Man and Deadpool have to show him how awesome of a party holiday Christmas can be. He ends up losing a pinky in a gambling, game.
Who, Saturnalia?
Yeah.
Saturn
loses a pinky gambling with Wilson Fisk and some underground villains, and it was a great, fun, entertaining issue.
It was a romp
for the season, and this one, it didn't further the story, and it wasn't fun. So if you're not doing either one of those, then what is the point of the one shot?
But this isn't a one shot.
It is. It's a self-contained story with a start and a finish inside a larger developing arc.
But I disagree.
Okay. I don't know on what grounds.
I mean, well, number one, it's Champions number 4, not Champions annual one shot.
Doesn't matter. The Christmas special was not a one shot, not annual. It was issue number 12. It was a numbered issue in an ongoing series. Issue number 11, Penn Jillette shows up and Teller knocks out Deadpool, steals his costume, and starts acting as a silent Deadpool, while Deadpool, who's had his mouth sewn up, is now Teller, who's getting knives thrown at him by Penn Jillette. Doesn't do anything for the story, but it's fun and weird. But it's a numbered issue.
All right.
So it's not outside of the numbers. It's still a numbered issue, but it doesn't advance the story any. It seems like they either A, had something to do later and didn't want to do it yet, so they killed time with this issue, or B, they thought they were doing something to advance it, and in my opinion, it didn't advance anything.
I would not count this as a one shot just because this takes place literally right after something had happened. It is still a part of this arc.
But is you going to the bathroom after the show part of your greater story as a person?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends on what happens in that bathroom.
Yeah, nothing happened in this bathroom.
Oh.
And in my opinion, this issue was the bathroom. So like I'm saying, I don't mind the one shot when it's...
I'm glad you got your opinion out there about what this issue is.
Just I don't mind the one shot when it's got something to do. It's got a point, and I don't remember the point here. And on top of that, just the discrepancies and the poorly thought through details, the cracked helmet, the Viv don't fly too far, like these little stupid one-off comments that didn't need to be there. And the only thing that they did while they were there was further highlight this. Like, really? You didn't think this point through? Because it doesn't make sense from the rest. Like, it really takes you out of the immersion. Like, that suspended disbelief has been removed when you see these really dumb details that are easily explained.
Exactly.
And you should know better as the writer of the story.
Exactly. Oh, do I have a really quick side thing, though?
Go ahead.
So, I just finally put, like, 15 pieces together. Humberto Ramos.
Uh-huh.
The guy who's been doing all the penciling for this.
Yes.
I read a comic that he did like a decade ago. That was absolutely wonderful, and I just realized it.
What comic?
Crimson?
I don't know Crimson.
Vampires and angels and stuff.
Okay.
You might like it. Actually talks about Lissith.
Very 90s.
Yes, very Lissith, the first
Lilith.
And actually, 10 years ago was 2006, right? Or 2007, right?
I deny that entirely.
Okay, cool. But yeah, very 90s. Yeah, Lilith, angels, vampires,
That's kinda cool.
shenanigans. It's in the same kind of like that American anime 1.5 style that he does.
Yeah.
And actually in the Spider-Man comic that I'm reading, he does
He worked
did
on
the two
Slott's Spider-Man for a while.
Well, he did the two ones where it's Flash Thompson being a Venom Flash.
For first getting the Venom symbiote.
Yeah. And
Who then goes on to be Venom Space Knight and now has lost that and Venom's somebody else.
Wait.
Flash Thompson's Venom Space Knight.
Oh, that's just baller, dude.
Yeah, but the new Venom's not Flash Thompson anymore.
That sucks. Flash Thompson, he lost both of his legs over in Iraq, man.
Yep.
Both of them.
And now he's back to having two non-legs and not fighting aliens in space.
That's gotta suck. We'll talk about the Venom anti-Venom thing later.
Anyway.
Continue.
So I've complained enough. Do you have anything else that you want to add to this?
So Mike goes in the details, and I just look at the story overall, and this is not a memorable issue.
No, it's not.
That's the main thing. As much as I've tried to like change Mike's mind on some things, we just have him think about something differently. Oh no, we both kind of agree on this issue as far as just it was. All right, guys. How are we gonna make things interesting? How are we gonna do this? And which it's the story didn't really do much for me.
Yep.
They were technically breaking the law by being in Atlantean airspace, in which
There's gonna be some international convention.
I guess that makes sense. Atlantean having airspace.
All I'm saying is nobody that I know of, no other team has had this issue before, where they've flown over,
Probably
someone else's sovereign airspace and gotten shot down and to deal with it.
I'm probably.
It might have happened a couple times, but
I'm just.
it's infrequent.
I'm guessing that at one point, I'm pretty sure the Fantastic Four were caught flying the Fantastic Four-mobile over Atlantean airspace, and then it got shot down, and then Sue Storm had to go in there and be like, "Oh, hey, Namor, you think I'm attractive?
Can you let us go, please?
Please? Yeah. What if I make my skin invisible?
So you can see her organs?
Yeah,
that's weird."
Namor could be into that, dude. I don't know.
He might.
He's a mutant. They're weird like that.
Namor's weird. Anyway, ratings.
Ratings?
Yeah. I'm going 3. 3 out of 10.
Damn.
I didn't like it at all.
Damn.
It wasn't a bad comic. So I can't give it a 0 or a 1. Like it was still, it technically was sound. The art was still, Humberto Ramos doing his thing. Which, like I said, can get busy in certain scenes, but overall, it's enjoyable. The story, made sense for the most part. There was some discrepancies and some problems I had, but it wasn't like complete gibberish.
So, are we blaming Mark Waid for this one?
It was, I think it's Mark Waid's. It was still, and it might even be the higher ups at Marvel who are like, hey, don't further the story until issue 4. Write some BS one-off, which does happen. I don't know.
It helps.
And plus the editors as a whole, the main editing team do have an idea of the growth of the universe as a whole. So they're going to have a lot of input. And, hey, you need this kind of issue this month. Figure out how you're going to do it.
Yeah,
so that might happen. I don't know.
And they did to slow things down because Civil War took too goddamn long.
Yeah, exactly. But it wasn't a terrible issue. It was technically sound. Mm-hmm. It was decently written. I just had a lot of problems with it, and I didn't have any fun. Yep. And if that's the case, it's a 3. If it wasn't for this show, I probably would have dropped this series right now off this issue.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really enjoyed it outrageously up until this point. I've had one issue that I've really loved, and the other ones were kind of meh. And this one was bad, in my opinion. So it's really hard to kind of keep this on your pull list and keep paying that money every month just to read this book that at the moment I'm not enjoying. I'm not enjoying reading this book at the moment.
Just keep on giving Disney money.
Yeah. So if we're going with the averaged out rating scale, like we did last episode, I'm at a 5.75 here. Just barely above half.
I'm going to have to go and look at my previous ones because I can't remember things off of that and whatnot.
You had a 9?
I had a 9, a 6, I think a 7. Anyway.
It was a 9, a 6, because I had a 9, a 6, and a 6. You had a 9, a 6, and a 7, so yours was slightly higher than mine.
Either way, I'm giving this one a 5.
Okay.
5.
Not good, not bad, just meh.
Right. Considering we're doing 1 to 10.
Oh, no, my last one was a 5. Issue 3 for me was a 5.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Considering we're doing a 1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm suck at math. I have to use my fingers and occasionally my toes to do things. Greg, you can stop just math shaming me.
I just don't know what the hell you were counting.
I'm counting
10.
I'm counting.
He was counting 10.
Reassuring himself that
Yes.
1 through 10?
Yes.
No, I'm reassuring myself that 5 is the highest low rank I can give this thing.
Or the lowest high rank.
So you're deciding if you're counting English?
No, I guess 6 would be the lowest high rank if you want to do that.
Yeah, 6 because
5 is not half.
It's a 1 through 10.
5 is kind of half, depending.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Inclusive versus exclusive?
Yeah.
I don't include 0 in this one. If we had a 0, then 5 would just be right in the middle.
Yeah,
but no, it's 5. So this is the highest low rank I can give it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5 because I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't enthralled about it. It didn't get my dick hard, but it's something that we need to kind of slog through right now and get through. And hopefully, if they are continuing with this idea of the champions doing right and doing well and doing things differently than the previous ones, hopefully this will be one of those like, oh yeah, no, y'all did this like 2 episodes ago. Now you have to pay the piper for it. Viv loses her soul gem.
See, I agree with that. So if we have next issue or the issue after that, which clearly it's not going to be next issue because it's going to be some Gwenpool shenanigans. But
Gwenpool nanigans.
If the next issue and the issue after that was them dealing with the fallout of this moment, okay, I'd feel a little better about the thing as a whole. It still wouldn't really change my opinion of this issue, but if I'm reading the arc, I'd feel a little the trade. Rather,
okay,
I'd feel a little different.
I mean, yeah. I'd really enjoy it if Namor shows up in like a just dress pants.
I don't. But my only thing is, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, because the whole narrative of the Marvel Universe going forward, Monsters Unleashed, which is just starting, is supposed to help reunite the universe after Civil War. And then after that, we're going to have Secret Empire, which is supposed to reunite the Marvel Universe after further friction. So the entire narrative of the universe is this reuniting. So I can't see, the Atlanteans going to war. We're not.
I don't think it's not going to be them going to war. It's going to be them like, "Hello, my name is Namor. I have a summons for Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, yes, your team did this, and then we're taking you to court."
Yes, because Namor is known for his diplomacy and not for his wild overreactions and aggressive responses.
That's right. Sue Storm is kind of like missing. So that's a
exactly. And that's the thing. Unless you piss off the Atlanteans and they go to war, they don't.
Unless
do
he falls
politely.
for Viv.
The last time they did something politely was Civil War, where what was it? Was it? It wasn't Doom. I forget who it was. Somebody shot at the ambassador and started an international incident.
Yeah.
That was the last time they tried being diplomatic, and look what happened.
And then they teamed up with Captain, just all that good stuff.
Yeah. So it's it would have to be a giant conflict to rectify this, at least in some sense. And I just don't see that going forward in this current Marvel universe and where it's going.
Why?
So I hope they'll come back to it and, further rectify this issue. But if this is the start and finish of this little story, I think it was poorly done.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, like I said, I know what your math is at right now. I'm at a 5.75. I'm really hoping for some reason that Gwenpool's going to surprise me. I don't know anything about her. My gut reaction is...
she could really just walk up in there and just be like the moral guiding light for this whole thing. We don't know.
Yeah, so I'm still excited for it. Like I said, we got 2 more issues before the trade, and the trade usually goes by the arc.
Right.
So, I'm predicting at 6, we'll cut it, and by 6 we can determine based off our rankings, keep it, trash it, whatever.
Well, at that time, we'll be able to see whether we want to borrow it, buy it, or toss it.
It was pass.
Same thing.
Pass was the ranking.
It's a 4-letter word that both...
You don't even know our own
4-letter
rankings.
word that has a vowel and ends with 2 S's.
Okay. Anyway, at the very least, if these issues are mediocre, you can enjoy me and Davis arguing about them passionately for no reason because they really don't matter that much in the grand scheme of the world.
Or we'll do our next arc where we look at nothing but Wacky Racers, the comic.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, Hanna-Barbera and DC have been making comics. They have a Flintstones comic now. They got a Wacky Racers comic. They might have a Jetsons comic. We can talk about Jetsonian futures.
I heard they're all terrible, but Flintstones is really good.
I can imagine so.
Okay. Anyway, if you don't have anything else to add.
Involving this? No, I have nothing else to add.
Okay. Well, then...
I do have to say this, though. Mm-hmm. Gary Johnson. No, I'm out.
No political talk on this show.
That reference is about 6 months too late. I know.
No.
No, I got nothing. Aside from, can't wait for this arc to be finished. And personally, whenever you brought up this idea of doing an individual arc, I didn't think it would progress this way, but I'm liking the way this is going.
I'm enjoying doing them.
Yeah.
And so it makes reading this comic, whether or not I would like it, otherwise enjoyable because we get to sit down and actually talk about it, which is really cool.
Yeah, it also makes so that every week I have a comic to buy. Thanks, capitalism.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's it for this episode. You know where to find us. We are jacksofttradespodcast.com. We are jacksofttradespodcast@gmail.com. If you have comments, suggestions, questions, whatever you got. We are at Jack's Trades Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And I believe it's facebook.com/Jack's Trades Pod. So any of those, we recently got a message or 2. So keep them coming. You increase them. We love reading them. We love responding. We love, hearing from you guys and what you think and what you want to do. If nothing else, I'm Mike.
And I'm Davis.
Have a good one.
Adios, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to Drinking Issues with Jacks of Trades. Your hosts this week were Mike Durette and Davis Callais. Recording done by Greg Tilton and In-Depth Media. Editing by Greg Tilton. Thanks again.
Debbie Does Dobage.
Oh, yeah.
Makes a Dobage king cake that me and Katie have been eyeballing for weeks on the internet, and we're just waiting for the appropriate moment.
I just want to...
Oh, we're doing the Crew de Vue party.
Crew de Pou.
Have y'all heard of the Boudin King Cake? Have you heard of the Boudin King Cake?
I've tried it.
How was it?
Weird. It's not okay.